Like that, yep.
And then down. But it's like
But
one of the first things.
It won't run if that's up.
Yeah, basically whichever way you want. So then, with the sheeter, a lot of times they'll just kind of take a little bit, and it's just to get some on there. And that's, I'm not doing it right now, but that's what this is for also.
Yeah,
Right.
So you can just put your flour here so that you can, as you need to.
I told her that just
Is there like a
today.
little cover? Should I cover it? If it's flour in it? I mean, there's nothing.
It's up to you. I mean,
I mean,
I
does it
don't
come with
normally
a cover?
fill it or anything. I just
No.
put like a little bit in.
Okay.
So I have something to grab right here.
Or
as
I have
opposed
like a
to-
little tub. and
Yeah,
just
you can
set
put a
it.
tub in there,
Yeah,
whatever you
the
want.
storage space is just
Some people
dirty.
with fondant will use more of like a powdered sugar
Yeah.
than a flour. So, so basically, in its simplest fashion, it literally is back and forth.
How do you say it?
So
Oh, you
these
just push
handles,
it down,
yep,
okay.
yep, over here.
Right.
So we know we're not really hitting anything. So. So there's a lot of different techniques. Some people will do a setting and go and back. Some will just go to one side, lower it, back the other side. It's something that you, personal preference more than anything else. Like it's not really a mandatory. What we're looking for really is to get how close are we to the, once the length is the width, more or less is what we're looking for.
Can we turn it the other way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so then we basically give it right around there so you're, utilizing the whole width of the carpet.
Right, right.
And then
That's why the catchers are there, you see?
Yeah.
so now you can see like as we start to
I've never actually.
compress the flour,
It seems like a little.
it's like I said, brand new. So
Plate out. Plate on.
Right, that's not good.
you want to stop it there?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do we have a brush? Can I have the brush again?
Yeah. Go for it.
I suppose I can get. Okay. Right.
Education for all of us. I like it.
Oh, you shoot it again with the butter in it? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have folded
I'm
it.
learning. See, I'm learning.
It says education
Yeah.
for all of us, yeah.
Exactly. And that's all you're looking for is it starts to like totally disappear into it. Just a little bit. So it's
More.
Hmm?
Longer.
longer.
Yeah. Can I try it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go for it.
So the nice thing about the catches is though as you start to go longer, so should you go over, it hangs, and it could go in, and then you can always bring it back, kind of thing.
So I just press it down, right?
Whatever
So
side
you
you
press
want to
down
go
the
to.
side in the
has
direction
it-
that you want to go.
Has it been moved?
So you can try it. There's no harm in just putting it back through.
Is
So
too much?
it could be a lot, yeah.
I'm gonna try it. One more.
Leave this.
Yeah.
You
Is
know.
this in inches? What is this?
It's totally just
a
reference numbers.
Yeah.
So it's not you.
Keep going. There you go. Too thin.
Okay.
Croissant dough usually gets like a quarter inch or so.
Okay. I mean, it's gonna start resisting.
And the real thing is, as you get comfortable with it,
You'll know.
what'll happen is you just start to get
Yeah.
faster and faster.
You'll know what settings you want it at. What thickness you need it at.
So the idea here is you would stand on the side with the roller. So the roller can free float up and down. So it's not gonna press the product. A lot of people get weird because the roller is on this.
Yeah, it's not. Okay.
Yeah. And then roll it out on your table if you're gonna use a
Yeah.
cutter by hand to
Yeah,
cut it.
yeah.
Your triangles or squares or
Right,
rectangles, whatever
yeah.
you're doing, so you can roll it out. Or at this point also, if you were having trouble because it was like gonna fall off the edge, you can theoretically work between the rollers. What that means is you would take, while there's no roller, you would then take it this way, and you can feed it into the sheeter off of the roller. So if you were making
Okay.
something much longer, like you were doing a huge sheet for some reason, and you don't have the space, so you can put it back in,
The
feed the roller actually off of this.
Yeah, yeah.
So as
Yeah, I
you
get
feed the
what you mean.
carpet,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know where we want to put it. For you to save it or store it, if you want to put some flour on it so it doesn't stick or anything, or, so there's really not a ton, but you can see, when you really look at it.
So there's a recipe that I do put sugar on. Is
And
that gonna be a problem trying to get the sugar off?
as long as it's not melting or anything, and it stays granular, it should
Yeah.
be fine. The material,
yeah.
it's a fabric. What's happening is if you were to put a ton of flour on this, you were doing fondant. They use a lot of sugar because as it heats up, it gets really sticky, and same thing. That's when you really have to scrape it and clean it down. You don't want to do
No
water
water.
because what will happen is at some level there's going to be some amount of flour in this carpet material. So if you were to get it wet, you get that like it's going to turn into some sort of like a sticky dough
Yeah.
because it's going to interact with that little bit of flour. A lot of times what I recommend is, you'll see under here, there's nothing. So the flour on the bottom side of the carpet is going to fall on here.
The table, yeah.
So what you can do, not that you want to do it all the time, but like if you know, once a week or something like that as like a cleaning, if you grab it here, there's this lever here,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so you can,
I mean, I need to store it anyways, like, so I'll be able to use, you know, the bench, the counter, or
so
whatever.
it's got a little hook that it hooks onto, this
Yeah, yeah,
bolt
yeah.
and up here. So once a week, if you want to come through and, you know, clean up underneath here,
I'll do that daily.
yeah, really depends on the usage. Like you said, this is theoretically all, you know, reusable flour if you're going to do it daily.
Right.
You can just put it back into the flour that you're going to put on as a product.
Do I clean the rollers?
So the roller should stay fairly clean depending on what you're doing. If you need to, it's pretty easy.
Brush it.
So with the rollers themselves are pretty non-stick. I haven't had much unless
Can I
it's
touch
like,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I just, yeah.
So the rollers themselves, you can open it up all the way, and you can, you know, if there's a lot of flour, these white pieces right here, a lower and upper, they can come out if you need to clean them. So those are the scrapers.
How do you take them out?
So you can see here, there's a spring
Oh,
side.
so you just kind of push it in somehow?
Yep. So they're
Okay.
gonna disconnect from,
Do you recommend doing that or not?
I wouldn't do it all the
All
time.
the time? Once in a while? Okay.
The important part is putting it back in the correct way.
Right.
Because
How do you know
what's happening is they're parallel. So we've done that because if this one wears out over time, you said you can brush the flour off.
Yeah.
If this one wears out, you can flip it and you have a reversible one without having to change part, and all 4 of them are like that. So it's 2 top, 2 lowers.
And I can,
So
I can go.
if it looks wrong, what's going to happen is it should be, if this is the wheel, this the roller itself, it should be up against this edge, so that if something were to ride up the wheel, it hits this and falls down on the carpet. If you put it on and it's like this, it's going to ride up the wheel and get jammed between this and this. So that's it's very obviously, like when you see it, you'll be like, oh, I put that in wrong.
Yeah.
But basically, the side with the spring.
Okay, that's good to know. Because if there's flour stuck in those springs,
Yeah, you
I like to be able to
like that. So you can see if it were to ride up, it would hit the spring. It would ride up this. You do have to reconnect these springs here